There are many personality types in the world, but very few stand out the way the INFJ does. From the outside, they may look quiet, gentle, or reserved. They may seem calm, thoughtful, or simply introverted. But once you look deeper, it becomes clear that the INFJ does not function like most people. Their mind works differently. Their emotions move differently. Their sense of understanding reaches a level that feels almost unnatural. It is no surprise that people often label them mysterious or unusual, because what happens inside an INFJ cannot be easily explained. While most people rely on external information, logic, or habit, the INFJ relies on something else entirely. They use intuition that seems to come out of nowhere. They sense emotions with a level of clarity that others cannot understand. They read situations and people with accuracy that feels impossible. They think in layers that most people never reach. They navigate life with a mix of sensitivity and strength that does not fit into the usual categories. Their mind operates in a way that makes them feel separate from the crowd, even when they try to blend in. ENFJs often grow up believing something is wrong with them because they cannot relate to the way others think or feel. They search for explanations, but most descriptions of behavior do not match their inner world. Science tries to describe personality, but the INFJ tends to stretch past normal definitions. Their intuition is too sharp. Their emotional depth is too focused. Their perception is too precise. Their inner world is too complicated. Their values are too strong. Their resilience is too quiet. All of these things combine into a personality that does not behave like the majority. This video explores 6 powerful reasons why the INFJ is not normal. These reasons show why people misunderstand them, why they often feel out of place, and why their presence can be confusing to those who do not think the same way. The INFJ is rare, not only in numbers but also in function. Their mind does things most people cannot explain. Their heart feels things most people cannot sense. Their intuition guides them in ways that go beyond ordinary understanding. If you have ever wondered why the INFJ seems different, why they see things others miss, or why they move through the world with such quiet precision, these 6 reasons reveal the answer. The INFJ is not normal, and that is exactly what makes them special. Reason number 1. Their intuition works at a level that feels impossible. The first reason the INFJ is not normal is the way their intuition functions. While most people rely on logic, evidence, or experience to understand a situation, INFJs rely on a sense of knowing that feels instant and strangely accurate. They often come to conclusions without having all the information. They predict outcomes long before others see the signs. They sense danger, dishonesty, emotional change, or future events with surprising confidence. This intuition is not guesswork. It is a complex internal process that even the INFJ struggles to explain. INFJ. Intuition works by gathering small clues that others overlook. A change in tone, a shift in energy, a pattern in behavior, a detail in someone's reaction. These tiny signals form a complete picture inside the INFJ's mind, often before they consciously realize what is happening. To outsiders, the INFJ's insight looks magical. People ask them how they knew something, and the INFJ cannot give a clear answer. They just knew. Their mind connected the dots before they even thought about it. This intuition becomes stronger with age. The more experiences the INFJ collects, the faster their inner system works. They begin to trust this sense because it proves accurate again and again. They may warn someone about a problem that has not yet happened. They may sense a shift in a relationship long before the first argument. They may feel that something is off at work even when everything looks normal. This awareness feels unnatural to many people because it does not follow the usual rules of logic. The INFJ's intuition also allows them to understand hidden motives. They can sense when someone is being insincere or manipulative. They can detect when someone is struggling emotionally. They can feel when someone's words do not match their inner truth. This makes the INFJ difficult to deceive. They may not confront the issue immediately, but they internally recognize the truth. Their intuition protects them from unhealthy connections and guides them toward people with genuine intentions. Another unusual aspect of INFJ intuition is its ability to predict emotional outcomes. While others make decisions based only on facts, the INFJ sees the larger emotional picture. They know how a choice will affect someone's heart, how a situation will shape a relationship, or how a long-term pattern will develop. Their predictions often become reality, surprising those who doubted them. Because their intuition is so strong, INFJs often feel out of place in environments that depend only on logic or routine. They see the deeper layers, while others see only the surface. They sense shifts long before they are obvious. They recognize emotional truth that people avoid. Their mind works ahead of the moment, not inside it. This level of intuition is rare, difficult to measure, and almost impossible to explain scientifically. It is one of the main reasons the INFJ does not fit into traditional personality categories. Their intuition is too advanced, too accurate, and too natural to be considered normal. Reason number 2, they experience emotions with rare depth and clarity. Another reason the INFJ is not normal is the way they experience emotions. Most people feel emotions in passing waves, strong one moment, weaker the next, often without deeper reflection. But INFJs feel emotions with intensity and clarity at the same time. They not only feel deeply, but they also understand their emotions on a logical level. This combination is extremely uncommon. When an INFJ feels something, they do not simply react. They analyze the feeling. They explore where it comes from. They understand what it means. They see the emotional cause and the emotional effect. They reflect until the emotion becomes clear. This ability gives them emotional intelligence far beyond the average person. They understand themselves without needing external guidance. They grow through emotion instead of being overwhelmed by it. But the depth of their emotion is also rare. INFJs feel joy intensely, sadness deeply, empathy strongly, and hurt with more weight than others realize. Their emotional world is rich and multi-layered. They do not experience emotions on the surface. They experience them like a story, with meaning and complexity. This depth gives them insight that most people cannot reach. At the same time, INFJs can control their emotional expression. They may feel a storm inside, but their face remains calm. They do not show every emotion immediately. They reflect before reacting. They want to respond thoughtfully, not impulsively. This balance between emotional depth and emotional control confuses many people. It makes the INFJ appear calm on the outside, even when they are processing powerful feelings inside. This emotional depth allows INFJs to connect with others in meaningful ways. They can understand someone else's emotional state even without a single word. They can sense pain behind a smile. They can feel fear behind anger. They can hear insecurity behind confidence. Their emotional clarity makes them natural healers, advisors, and supporters. People feel safe opening up to them because the INFJ understands emotions with a precision that feels rare. But this same emotional depth can make life challenging. The INFJ absorbs the emotions of others easily. Conflict drains them. Harsh environments overwhelm them. Dishonesty or manipulation affects them deeply. They need more solitude than most people because their emotional world is constantly active and complex. Science often tries to explain emotional intensity, but the INFJ's combination of depth, clarity, reflection, and control does not fit usual patterns. They do not simply feel, they understand. They do not simply react, they reflect. They do not simply absorb, they translate emotional experience into insight. This rare emotional structure is another reason the INFJ cannot be considered normal. They feel in ways that others cannot imagine, and they understand emotions in ways most people will never reach. Reason number 3, they understand people better than people understand themselves. Another reason the INFJ is not normal is their ability to understand people with a depth that feels almost unnatural. While most people learn about others through conversation, time, or clear behavior, INFJs use intuition, observation, and emotional insight to understand someone's inner world long before that person reveals anything openly. They pick up on motives, fears, wounds, desires, and hidden beliefs without needing a direct explanation. This ability can make the INFJ seem almost mind-reading at times. INFJs notice the details others ignore. They see the moment someone's expression changes. They hear the slight shift in tone that suggests discomfort. They feel emotional tension even in a relaxed room. They sense when someone is pretending to be confident, when they are secretly anxious, or when they are struggling with something personal. People around them may miss these clues entirely, but the INFJ catches them instantly. Because they understand emotional patterns and motives so well, INFJs are often the first to sense when something is wrong. They notice when someone is drifting away emotionally. They detect when a friendship is starting to shift. They know when someone's intentions are not pure. They see through manipulation almost immediately. Their awareness is so sharp that people sometimes feel exposed around them without knowing why. ENFJs also understand people because they listen deeply. They do not listen just to respond, they listen to understand. When someone talks, the INFJ hears both the spoken and unspoken message. They notice what the person avoids saying. They feel the emotion behind the words. They sense the struggle beneath the surface. This allows the INFJ to respond with a level of empathy and accuracy that feels rare and sometimes shocking. This people-reading ability also comes from the INFJ's natural desire to know what shapes a person. They think about why someone acts a certain way, which experiences influence them, and what fears guide their choices. They look beneath behavior to find the emotional truth. They understand trauma, insecurity, and hidden pain even if the person denies it. This depth of perception is not something they learned. It is part of their wiring. Because of this, people often open up to INFJs quickly, even strangers. They feel safe, seen, and understood. They feel like the INFJ understands them without judgment. They share secrets they have never told anyone. They trust the INFJ without knowing why. This reaction is not normal. It comes from the INFJ's ability to see the real person beneath the surface. But this ability can be overwhelming. INFJs sometimes know too much without wanting to. They feel emotional burdens that do not belong to them. They carry the weight of other people's struggles simply because they sense them so clearly. They may need time alone to release the emotional information they gather. Science has difficulty explaining this level of people reading because it is not based on simple observation. It involves intuition, emotional intelligence, subconscious pattern recognition, and deep empathy working together. This combination is extremely rare, and it is one of the strongest reasons the INFJ stands out as far from normal. Reason number 4, they live in a complex inner world that others cannot access. Another reason the INFJ is not normal is their deep and layered inner world. While many people live mostly in the external world, focused on tasks, conversations, and daily routines, the INFJ lives heavily inside their mind. Their inner world is a place filled with thoughts, emotions, patterns, imagination, symbolism, and meaning. It is one of the most important parts of their identity, yet most people will never see it. Inside their mind, INFJs think in stories, themes, and emotional connections. They reflect on the past, analyze the present, and imagine the future all at once. Their thoughts have layers. Their emotions have meaning. Their imagination feels vivid and real. This inner world is quiet, but incredibly active. It is where the INFJ goes to understand themselves, solve problems, find peace, and make sense of life. This inner world is also private. INFJs rarely reveal their deepest thoughts or emotions to others. They may share pieces of themselves, but the full complexity stays hidden. It is not because they want to be mysterious. It is because their inner thoughts feel too personal, too layered, or too difficult to put into simple words. They know that most people would misunderstand or oversimplify what they are trying to express. The INFJ's inner world gives them a sense of meaning that others may not understand. They search for purpose behind every action. They look for deeper lessons in every experience. They think about human nature, life patterns, emotional truths, and big questions about identity, purpose, and connection. Their thoughts are rarely shallow or random. They are almost always connected to something deeper. This complexity also fuels their creativity. INFJs often express themselves through writing, storytelling, art, or imaginative thinking. They create ideas, characters, or emotional scenes with powerful detail because they draw from a rich internal universe. This creativity is not simple fantasy. It is connected to insight, observation, and emotional understanding. However, this inner world can make INFJs feel isolated. They understand themselves deeply, but they also realize that others do not think the same way. They may struggle to find people who appreciate their depth. They may feel misunderstood because the things that matter to them are invisible to others. They may feel alone even when surrounded by people. Their inner world also makes them highly self-aware. INFJs analyze their feelings, beliefs, actions, and choices constantly. They reflect on their mistakes and learn from them. They examine their identity and purpose with honesty. This level of introspection is unusual and difficult to measure scientifically. It makes the INFJ more emotionally and mentally mature than most people their age. Because science often studies behavior, not inner depth, the INFJ's internal world does not fit into normal categories. Their mind works too quietly, too deeply, and too symbolically for traditional frameworks. This is another reason the INFJ cannot be considered normal. They live in a mental space that most people cannot access or even imagine. Reason number 5, they hold strong value and internal rules that they do not bend. Another powerful reason the INFJ is not normal is their strict sense of internal values. While many people change their beliefs based on convenience, social pressure, or external reward, INFJs have inner rules that they do not compromise. These rules are not forced onto them. They arise naturally from their intuition, emotional depth, and understanding of what feels morally right. When something touches their values, they become unmovable. INFJs are flexible in many situations. They adapt to others' needs. They listen, compromise, and try to understand different viewpoints. But there is a point where flexibility ends. When something violates their core values, honesty, compassion, respect, fairness, integrity, the INFJ's entire energy shifts. They become firm, clear, and sometimes surprisingly strong. This sudden shift can shock people who knew only the gentle, calm version of them. Their values are not based on rules from others. They are internal. They come from reflection, intuition, and emotional truth. The INFJ's beliefs are built after deep thought and personal understanding, not because someone told them what to believe. This makes their values incredibly stable. They do not easily change their mind. They do not bend under pressure. They do not follow the crowd. This internal structure gives INFJs a sense of direction that is rare. They know what they stand for. They know what feels wrong. They know when a situation violates their sense of fairness or respect. Their decisions come from within, not from outside influence. People may try to persuade them or pressure them, but the INFJ holds firm when it matters. This strong value system also explains why INFJs cut ties when someone breaks their trust or crosses a deep boundary. They may give many chances, but when the final line is crossed, the INFJ walks away with certainty. This is not emotional reaction, it is value protection. They cannot allow people into their life who violate their inner rules. Their emotional safety and integrity matter too much. Some people misunderstand this behavior. They think the INFJ becomes cold or distant for no reason. But the truth is that the INFJ has deeply considered the situation. They do not leave lightly. They leave because their values demand it. This level of inner strength does not fit typical personality patterns. Most people avoid difficult choices, but the INFJ makes them when needed. Their values also make INFJs excellent judges of character. They can sense when someone lacks sincerity, empathy, or integrity. They feel uncomfortable around people who play emotional games or manipulate others. They sense disrespect immediately. Their value system acts like a filter, guiding them toward people who match their emotional and moral standards. This strong internal compass is another reason science struggles to categorize the INFJ. Their decisions are not based on simple logic or emotional impulse. They come from a complex mix of intuition, moral insight, and deep emotional understanding. This combination is not normal, and it is one of the defining traits of the INFJ personality. Reason number 6. They combine sensitivity with unusual resilience. Another reason the INFJ is not normal is the rare mix of deep sensitivity and powerful resilience. Most people fall on one side or the other. They are either sensitive and easily overwhelmed, or strong but emotionally distant. ENFJs are one of the few personality types who carry both qualities in equal measure. They feel deeply, but they endure quietly. They absorb emotion, but they recover with surprising strength. They are gentle in behavior, but unbreakable in spirit. ENFJs are sensitive in ways that others may not understand. They notice small changes in tone. They feel tension even when no one speaks. They pick up emotional energy from environments, people, and situations. They care about the emotional well-being of others intensely. This sensitivity makes them compassionate, empathetic, and deeply aware of human experience. However, this is only one side of their nature. Beneath that sensitivity is a strength that is steady and powerful. ENFJs survive emotional storms that would overwhelm many people. They carry emotional weight without collapsing. They face deep internal battles and come out wiser. They endure heartbreak, confusion, betrayal, and loneliness, yet still continue to care, hope, and support others. Their resilience does not show on the surface, but it is built into who they are. One reason for this resilience is their ability to reflect and understand their emotions instead of running from them. When something difficult happens, the INFJ goes inward. They process the pain. They analyze why it happened. They understand what it means. They allow themselves to feel the emotion fully, which helps them heal instead of hiding from it. This emotional courage is rare and gives them stronger recovery than people realize. Another part of their resilience comes from their values. INFJs know what matters to them. They know who they are. They know what they stand for. This strong inner foundation keeps them grounded when life becomes unstable. Their sensitivity may cause them to feel every emotional shift, but their core values keep them anchored. They do not lose themselves, even in difficult situations. ENFJs also have the ability to cut off harmful influences when necessary. They may give others many chances, but when someone repeatedly hurts them or violates their trust, the INFJ steps away. This decision is not emotional, it is protective. It shows the strength beneath their sensitivity. People are often surprised by the INFJ's ability to walk away so firmly, because they mistake gentleness for weakness. But INFJs protect their inner world with quiet certainty once the final line is crossed. This rare combination of sensitivity and strength often confuses people. They see the INFJ as calm, gentle, or soft-hearted. They assume the INFJ is fragile. But when challenges arise, the INFJ reveals a completely different side. Their quiet nature hides a level of determination, emotional maturity, and inner power that most people never expect. Science struggles to explain this combination because it breaks the usual patterns. People who feel deeply are expected to be easily overwhelmed, and people who are strong are expected to be emotionally distant. INFJs disrupt both assumptions. They are both soft and strong, intuitive and grounded, sensitive and resilient. This balance is rare and one of the biggest reasons the INFJ cannot be considered normal. The INFJ personality stands out because it does not follow the usual rules of human behavior. Their intuition operates at a level that feels impossible to explain. Their emotions run deep but remain controlled and understood. Their ability to read people goes far beyond normal perception. Their inner world holds layers of meaning that others cannot access. Their values create a level of strength that surprises even those closest to them. And their blend of sensitivity and resilience makes them unlike any other personality type. Being an INFJ means moving through life with depth that most people do not reach. It means seeing what others miss, feeling what others overlook, and understanding what others cannot explain. It means carrying a mind that works quietly but powerfully, and a heart that feels deeply but stands strong. These traits make the INFJ rare, unusual, and far from normal. But being not normal is not a weakness. It is the INFJ's greatest strength. Their difference is what gives them insight, purpose, empathy, and wisdom. Their unique way of thinking and feeling is what allows them to bring meaning into the world. While others may not fully understand them, the INFJ's depth is what makes them stand out in the best possible way.